You did everything right. The degree, the extra hours, the professionalism that cost you things you didn't even notice you were paying. You built the resume they said to build, stayed late when everyone else left, and delivered work that quietly held entire departments together. And somehow, the people moving up were never quite you. You watched it happen enough times that you stopped calling it bad luck. But you didn't yet have a name for what it actually was. Here is the name. There is a second rulebook operating inside most offices. It has always been there. It was just never handed to you. By the time this is over, you will see it clearly, and what you see cannot be unseen. You are 35. You are good at your job. You have always been good at your job. You open your laptop before 7 most mornings, not because someone is watching, but because you have learned that preparation is the only variable you can fully control. You reread your emails before sending them. Not once. You adjust the tone, soften the edge, remove the sentence that could be read as too direct, then put it back, then remove it again. You are not anxious by nature. You became anxious here, slowly, in response to an environment that kept giving you unclear feedback on things you couldn't quite name. In meetings, you prepare more than anyone else in the room and speak less than most of them. You have learned to wait for the right moment. The right moment rarely comes. You make a point and it lands in silence. Then 3 minutes later, someone else, someone with less context, less preparation, and more ease, makes the same point in slightly different words, and the room responds. Someone writes it down. You do not explode. You recalibrate. You try again next week. This is the pattern, and the pattern has been running for longer than you want to calculate. Around you, people who work less carefully keep moving. Not because they are sharper, because they are easier. They fit something in the culture that you cannot quite name yet, something that operates beneath the level of job description or performance review. You watch it and feel vaguely crazy for watching it, so you go back to working harder, because working harder is the only response you know how to trust. Then there is someone like Sophia. Sophia is not more competent than you. She is warmer, more casually present, knows everyone's coffee order, laughs at the right moments in the hallway. One Tuesday, she leaves at 2 in the afternoon for a salon appointment. She comes back at 4:30. By Friday, she has been named to an innovation steering committee that you did not know existed. You are not angry at Sophia. Sophia is not doing anything wrong. Sophia probably barely noticed any of this. You notice everything, and what you notice is costing you something real. The exhaustion you feel is not weakness. It is the ongoing price of navigating a system you were never given the map for. That price is being deducted from you every day in ways that do not show up on any official ledger. Here is what the second rulebook actually says. It says that decisions happen before the meeting. The real conversation already occurred, at lunch, in someone's office doorway, in a group chat you are not in. The meeting is a formality. Your preparation is a formality. The outcome was already loaded before you walked in. You just did not know you were walking into a room where the vote had already been cast. It says that culture fit is the gate, not performance. Culture fit sounds like a neutral phrase. It is not neutral. What it actually means is, do you make the people with power feel comfortable? Do you laugh at the right volume? Do you soften your edges instinctively, or does it take visible effort? Competence without social ease does not read as impressive inside most organizations. It reads as inconvenient. You are not disliked. You are just not immediately legible to people who only read one type of person. It says that visibility beats merit. The person who gets promoted is not always the best performer. It is the person that leadership can already picture in the role. Picturing someone requires seeing them. You are doing the work. You are just not in the frame where the picturing happens. It says that exclusion does not require confrontation. No one tells you that you are being left out. There is no incident. There is no paper trail. You are simply not CC'd, not mentioned, not remembered when the opportunity comes up. Social punishment in professional environments does not look like punishment. It looks like being forgotten. And being forgotten, it turns out, is its own kind of career ceiling. The vague feeling you have had for years, the one that something is off, that the feedback doesn't quite match the work, that the math isn't adding up. That feeling was accurate. It was never paranoia. It was pattern recognition operating just below the level of language. You were reading the room correctly. You were just reading only the visible room. What the invisible room costs you is harder to measure. On the surface, you work harder. You go deeper into every project, prepare more thoroughly, deliver more carefully. Underneath that, your nervous system is running a background program that never fully switches off. You read the tone of every reply. You reconstruct conversations after they end to check if you said something wrong. You monitor your own face during feedback. You soften your language before sending, then worry it came across as too soft. This is not a personal deficiency. This is what unstable social environments train people to do. When the rules are unclear and the consequences feel unpredictable, the brain builds surveillance systems. Yours is running 24 hours a day, and it is exhausting in a way that no amount of sleep fully repairs. The burnout you feel is not just about hours. You know this already, even if you haven't had the exact words for it. The hours are long, but the hours are manageable. What is not manageable is the constant monitoring of your own behavior in an environment that keeps sending you signals you can't fully decode. You are not tired from the work. You are tired from watching yourself do it. And then the framing starts to shift in ways that are almost insulting in their precision. Your output is fine. It has always been fine. But your attitude comes up. Your communication style is mentioned. You are told you need to work on stakeholder management in feedback that somehow never specifies what you did wrong. These are not assessments. They are codes. They mean you are not making the people around you comfortable enough. And in an environment that runs on comfort and legibility, that reads as a performance issue. It is not a performance issue. But by the time you figure that out, it is already in your file. Sophia, meanwhile, same quarter. Sophia misses a deliverable, genuinely misses it, and her manager sends a gentle message asking if everything is okay and whether she needs support. You have missed nothing. You have a note about managing stakeholder expectations. The contrast does not feel dramatic. It feels quiet and specific, and precisely the kind of thing that is impossible to prove and impossible to ignore. Sophia is not the villain here. She never was. And the system is not a villain either. It is simply built in a way that was not built for you. You are not becoming difficult. You are responding normally to an environment that was not designed to include you, and the responses that look like problems, the guardedness, the over-preparation, the social fatigue, are direct outputs of what that environment produces in people it cannot easily categorize. Here is the wider picture. This is not about your specific company or your specific manager or Sophia. This is about how organizations are structurally incentivized to protect themselves, and the people inside them are secondary to that function. When you raise something with HR, a process begins. The process is not designed to resolve what you experienced. It is designed to absorb it, document it, and neutralize the liability. Your concern gets noted. A conversation is had. Language is chosen carefully. Nothing material changes, but now you are also the person who had a concern, which is its own kind of data point. Leadership language operates the same way. We value transparency, means decisions will be communicated after they have been made. We are focused on culture, means people who don't fit the existing culture will be managed toward the exit, slowly and with paperwork. We want everyone to feel heard, means the organization has committed to a process of hearing, not to anything that follows from what it hears. These are not lies exactly. They are managed language. There is a difference. The people at the top got there by fitting the rules, the visible ones and the invisible ones. They are not going to dismantle a system that's selected for them. This is not a conspiracy. It is institutional gravity. The system reproduces the conditions that built it. You walked into that system without knowing the full rules of the game you were playing. You have been reading the room correctly this entire time. The problem was never your perception. You were just reading the visible room. There is a second room, where decisions are made before meetings, where access is granted through trust networks you were never invited into, where protection is extended informally and withdrawn the same way. You now know that room exists. Knowing it does not fix the past. but not knowing it was costing you everything: your confidence, your energy, your read on your own reality. When you walk into the next meeting, you will not just hear who is speaking, you will see who was already decided, who has access, who is being managed out, slowly, with careful language, who is protected without ever needing to ask. That is not a small thing. That is a different way of seeing the board. And once you see the board clearly, you are no longer playing blind.